for both LEQs and DBQs, I have some ideas that are kind of transferable, but I will really start with our LEQs. I've gotten into the habit of making assignments in which students have to answer multiple choice questions about an LEQ prompt. What is the best thesis statement? Or look at the following 4 thesis statements. 3 of them are acceptable. Which one is not? Look at the following contextualization pieces for this LEQ prompt. Tell me which one is the best one. Tell me which one is not acceptable. And I also have questions about evidence and the sample responses released by the College Board. Once again, usually mixing up the identifiers so that the students don't know. Now, the resources that are placed on the app for this event are not as in-depth. I have some examples that I wanted to share with you on some of the questions that I've made. If we take a look at the 2023 AP European History LEQ about the most significant political or social change during the Reformation. And I want them to be able to pick out the best thesis statement. I want them to be able to look at the contextualization and pick out which one is not acceptable. And you know where I got those answer choices from? The scoring guidelines released by the College Board. And after they answer those questions and they pick out the right ones, this then leads us to a discussion. Okay, so tell me, what is wrong with answer choice A? It's a little not on topic, right? Yeah, we're way all up. What's wrong with answer choice C? Hopefully somebody will remember, well, Martin Luther's calling the Pope the Antichrist. I don't think that the Pope was really expanding his Supreme Court either. And then, of course, we have D that's just, I call it fluffy. It's fluffy, there's no substance there, there's nothing to it. The contextualization that is not accepted, of course, and this comes directly from the College Board's commentary. I do like to point out that this one was notated as being minimally acceptable. And I try to tell my students, all right, they were looking for that, like a way to give the contextualization. What you want to shoot for is something more like this or this. I also asked them, okay, what score was earned by this sample response? Yes, sir.
So on the question that you just had previously, for the one where you said where B was minimally acceptable, would you take either one or was like there one correct answer?
I take only this one correct answer.
We didn't give like points for B or anything.
When I first introduced these kinds of assignments, these are not high stakes assignments, so that it's not something that, okay, so there's a minimally acceptable one, but you don't get credit for it. This is more like an activity that kind of eases them into what they'll be doing again and again and again. Again, shuffling up your identifiers, but I want them to pick out the score earned by sample response A. Which ones did it earn? And I do that for whatever I redesignate as B or C. And then that can lead to a discussion of, okay, so sample response C only earned this number of rubric points. Which ones did it not earn? What's wrong with the thesis in this? What's wrong with the contextualization? Those are all good ways to open up a dialogue about it. And it's a good way to show them exemplars of what they should be striving for, as opposed to just the bare minimum of just writing things. When we get into, okay, response 2A earned the thesis point, go back to that response. Tell me, what was it that earned it the thesis point? And then hopefully that leads us to a discussion of, okay, so why is A not the thesis statement? Why is C? Why is D? Most of them will recognize that that's just a bit more contextualization. The reason I include questions like number 10 here is because when you have your students grade responses, how many of them just rip apart an essay for grammatical errors? They think it's an English course. And I am very much a fan of correct grammar in English, but you have to say, okay, does the rubric say anything about correct grammar in English? And so we really want to reemphasize, you're not grading on the quality, overall quality of their writing. You have to grade according to